What is up, everybody? Renfail here. Hopefully you are doing well. We crossed the 25 hours played mark today with Destiny 2, so it's time for my initial review. If you haven't ever watched my review process before, I do a three-part multi-stage review series. We start off with an early thoughts video after my first initial playthrough or stream. We did that when we played the first time a couple weeks back. I then do an initial review after 20 to 25 hours, which is this video, and then we will do a final review whenever I finish the game. Now, it's kind of hard to finish a live service game because they kind of don't have an end, but usually what I do is whenever I get to the point where I have finished the campaign storylines, that's when I will go ahead and do the final review, which in this case will be when I get through all of the campaign content that I'm running right now as a new player or a returning player who's playing from scratch. When I get through to the end of the Edge of Fate, I will then drop my final review of Destiny 2 in 2025, and we will go from there. So that's the review process. If you haven't watched the early thoughts video, go ahead and do so at your leisure. Let's dive in. So, I am a returning player, but I have been treating this like a brand new game, like I'm playing it from scratch. So I started off with a brand new character that I hadn't played in years. I needed to remember how to play. And I've been going through everything. We just finished up the Witch Queen campaign during this morning's stream session. And then we are about to jump into, actually, let's go look at it because I don't remember what it is called. I think it is something Lightfall. We're going to do Lightfall, and then after Lightfall, we have, I'm going to go look at the quests. After Lightfall, we have the Final Shape, and then after the Final Shape, we will be ready for the Edge of Fate. I do not really care about a lot of the stuff that's in between. I don't give a shit about the raids. I'm not going to be going and repeating the content over and over and over to get like legendary and all the different tiers of gear. That's not why I play these games. So I'm here for the story and just the fun of running around and shooting things and blowing it up and having a cool time with the Destiny 2 storyline. Similarly, I play, say, Lord of the Rings Online, Star Wars: The Republic, playing Dune Awakening the same way. I'm there for the story. When I finish the story, I treat these like single-player games, even though they are online live service games and they have multiplayer components. I will occasionally jump in and do things with friends, but for the most part, I just like to play these games for the story, and I play them in between all the other things I play. As a variety streamer and content creator, I play 3 to 5 games every single month. This is one of the games that I'm playing in the month of July of 2025. I'm having generally a good time. I love the cosmetics. I love the gear progression. I love the gear system. I love being able to come in here and, look at like all these different bits and pieces and say, oh, I really like this weapon. I'm going to level this weapon up with me as I go rather than trading it out. I like that. I like all of the shaders, the ability to like cosmetically change all of the different things that I'm wearing. All of this is very fun to me. The storylines have been really fun. The fights have been challenging. Couple of things that I've noticed that definitely are sort of like, I don't want to say they're not things that I would consider like, oh, it's trash or anything like that, because I know a lot of people will make those sorts of ridiculous statements, especially if they're coming over from Reddit. I have nitpicks. Let's put it that way. I have little nitpicks. So one of the things I'm not a huge fan of is like the jump system specifically playing the Warlock, you have this jumps. What I mean by that is there are moments where, and I complain about this in other games. If you watched me play Stalker 2, I complained about it in Stalker 2 as well. If this is a platform, if you can imagine that this is a platform, and it's my phone. If you imagine I'm jumping onto the platform, right? It's better just to do it this way. If I am jumping up against the edge of a platform, and this is the edge of the platform. What really drives me nuts is if I am jumping in at an angle and I hit the edge and it won't grab a hold of the ledge and my character falls, but then if I hit it straight on, it grabs it and pulls me up. That shit drives me nuts. In every game I play where it does that, it's like if you're going to have a ledge where there's meant to be some sort of a platforming move, If I hit that edge, it shouldn't matter what angle I'm hitting that edge at. If I hit that edge, my character should grab the edge and pull himself up on. Avowed did a great job with this, by the way. Any angle you would hit the edges at, your character would pull themselves up and you would never fall off. But this game suffers from what Stalker 2 suffered from, which is if you don't hit it at the perfect angle, your character hits and like bounces off, or hits and then falls. You have to hit things at the perfect angle. And that has been slightly annoying because there was a moment where in the Witch Queen segment specifically, there was some like tunnels that you have to run through underground, and there was these like light things that you have to shoot to like make them burst and illuminate the walls. And I missed one of those areas and I fell into this like area, and we had a good 15 minutes on stream where my character um, respawned on the side of a wall underneath all the ledges that I was supposed to be on top of, and it took me like 15 minutes of like jumping and trying to get out of this chasm. And I didn't want to go back into orbit and come back down in because it would have restarted the whole mission. And so I had this catch 22 of like, you need to fix your spawn system and your jump points, in my opinion. That was a little nitpick. Not game breaking, but it was definitely frustrating when it happened. Um, And then I noticed there was this and any game that you play for a length of time is going to have repetitive components that you will start to notice as time goes on. God of War, any game that I've ever played, once you get 20, 30 hours into the game, you're going to start to notice the repetitive elements because you're playing the campaigns back to back to back to back to back. And one of the things that Destiny 2 suffers from a lot is a lot of mindless running back to locations that you were just at in a previous mission. So it'll be like, hey, you're in the throne room, run up here and click this thing, then you gotta go all the way out and do these 2 or 3 things, and then you gotta come all the way back in again. And they don't give you any like fast travel points. So it's like you gotta re-clear through mobs and rerun through tunnels and redo all the jumps and redo all of the things to get back to the same locations 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times in any given campaign. And that kind of stuff does get a little repetitive and grindy after you've been doing it for 20 plus hours. That being said, I still have fun with everything. It's just one of those little things that I will call out as sort of like I'll call it out in any game that I see it in. When you start to have too many repetitive elements, you'll start to be like, that's starting to get a little old. We need to find a way to make that not so grindy, and maybe give us some fast travel so we can get there quicker and just focus on the storyline. I think that overall, though, especially coming back to this as a new player, there are so many things to do. I made a joking post about this yesterday. I think I called it Destiny 2 has a massive problem. Specifically, a problem of like there being so many things to do that it can feel overwhelming for new players. Because you come over here to the quest tab, and it doesn't really appear that there's any rhyme or reason to a lot of this stuff. Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload, or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. But thankfully, it's one of those things where I have good community members who are able to help me get up to speed with, all the things that I should do here and the order that I should do things in. This is an area where I would say that for a new player, it can feel like an overwhelming amount of things to do. But the cool thing is like if you just do them all, they'll all make sense as you do them. Some things you'll have to do a campaign to understand who all the characters are in a campaign. But with so much content out there, 8, 10 years of content out there, from a new player's perspective, there's a lot of stuff to do. And we had the argument being made from some veteran players on my video from last night that, that's one of the shitty parts about Destiny 2 is that there's just nothing for us veterans to do. And it's like, they just launched an expansion. Like, shut up. And I kind of feel like anytime you get veterans of any long-running game like Lord of the Rings Online, EverQuest 2, World of Warcraft, Star Wars: Old Republic, the veterans are always going to complain that there's nothing to do. And it's like, well, that's because you've already done everything. And the only thing left at this point is when there's new content, and it's never going to be enough. These games aren't meant to be played 24/7 as the only thing you play. There are so many other games out there, like go explore other games. Like it's really not that hard. Um, so from a veteran's perspective, like with any long-term live service game, the content updates will never come fast enough to keep those players satisfied. But for new players, there's always plenty to do, and for people who are patient and people who duck in and duck out with expansions, there's always things going on. And in between the DLC drops, you could be out there playing the, 50 to 100 games that come out every single month that you might want to play in between the updates. So from my perspective and my money, um, I'm happy with Destiny 2 in 2025 as a new player. I'm very good about not getting jaded by my experiences. Someone was complaining about, I've lost Destiny 2 has lost the magic, and I was like, well, that's a you problem, because I can tell you, as someone who's been playing Lord of the Rings Online since it launched, 18 years. I've played Star Wars: The Republic since it launched. That's been about 15 years. If you lose the magic, that's kind of you losing your connection with it, because the game is still the same game. It's still got the same content. It's still got the same passionate people working on it. But over time, things can get stale. It's like anybody who's been in a long-term relationship. If you fall out with your partner and want to get a divorce, things happen, but you can't blame the game for the separation. So it's one of those things where if you love the game, I think you'll continue to love it over the years as it continues to evolve, just like I continue to love Lord of the Rings Online and Star Wars: The Republic. And for players who are coming into it for the first time, there's a lot here. Are there flaws? Sure, every game has flaws. Like I said, I have some nitpicks, but overall, I'm having a pretty good time, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of the story content and getting to the Edge of the Fate. Sometime in August, it'll probably be when I hit that, because I'm just now getting up to Lightfall, and I've still got to do Final Shape, and then we're going to get sidetracked in about a week because we've got Tales of the Shire and Grounded 2 starting on the 29th, and then I got Mafia, The Old Country. So somewhere in there, I'll be getting up to speed with all things Destiny 2. So follow along. There is a playlist. Daily streams happen at 4:35 a.m. Central on YouTube and Twitch, and I'll catch everybody in the next one. Until then, stay safe and happy gaming.